Here's to whiskey kisses, the peaty taste of sin. Edinburgh morning.
Greetings, whiskey folk, and welcome back to Drinking Out Loud. I am your host, as ever, Adam Bradshaw, and it is a privilege, an honour, and indeed a pleasure to have you here on the Dram Association YouTube channel in the Strath studio for another exciting episode. Now, today it's just me, no special guests today. We're just having a small little fun break from our important charity work that we're doing. For those of you who aren't aware, yes, we are doing a series of special tastings with special guests in collaboration with the Victoria Whisky Festival, raising money for local charities, and that will continue later on this month. And I'm unsure what's next, so I'm not going to spoil it for you, but keep an eye out. There will be more charity tastings very, very soon. But of course, today is a very special day. It is April the 1st, and that, of course, is April Fool's Day. It's tradition, at least in the UK, I'm not sure about here, that all of your practical jokes must have finished by midday at the latest. So there's no practical jokes here today. I'm not here to fool you. I'm not here to trick you. What I'm here to do is actually maybe help you not be a fool in the future, because we're going to be talking about today something that I feel is quite an important thing about single malt Scotch whisky, and that is that Islay is not the be-all and end-all for peat. Yes, I know. Islay is very beloved. It is very well known for its peated whisky, and quite rightly so. Of course, there are 9 distilleries right now working on Islay, 8 of them of which you will see on the shelves here in BC, and every single one of them makes peated whisky. A couple of them, it's not their focus. Bruichladdich and Bunnahabhain, of course, make unpeated whisky under their own names, but they also make peated whisky. Bruichladdich makes Port Charlotte, and of course Octomore. Bunnahabhain, you got the Seo Banach and the Toichicha Da and all the crazy Gaelic name ones, and they of course are all peated. So if you're a region that every single distillery in your region makes peated whiskey, of course you're going to be known for it, right? It just kind of makes sense. However, it's not the only region that makes peated whiskey, and it's not even the only region where every single distillery makes peated whiskey. We're going to, of course, take a little trip just across the water from Islay to a small but mighty whiskey region of Campbellton. And that's where we're first up today, so we're going to be visiting Campbellton. And here's an interesting thing, and I'm going to make a fool of myself right now here on camera and admit something right here on the camera. I am terrible at remembering what the stereotypical flavours of a region are supposed to be. Mostly because I think they're bollocks and they don't mean anything. So anytime I have to try and think of what the stereotypical flavours of a region are going to be, 9 times out of 10 what I actually do is think about the remarkable regional malt from Douglas Lang that represents that region. But yeah, no, anytime someone comes into the store and asks for, I want a classic Speyside, or I want a traditional classic Highland whiskey, I'm like, well, both of those regions, in fact, every region in Scotland makes multiple different styles of whiskey that are all vastly different from each other. I don't think regions mean anything, especially anymore, in terms of flavour. Of course, they mean a lot in terms of culture and heritage, and sort of, a lot can be drawn from why certain styles are more popular in different regions, but, I always forget what Speyside's supposed to actually be known for. Which is a silly thing, because, I've been working in whiskey for well over a decade now, and that's slightly embarrassing to say. So I've actually got some notes here from, I think it's from Flavia, or I don't know how to pronounce that, actually. The website that's Flav, I don't even remember how to spell it. Flavier, .com or whatever. It's a website with a lot of information about whiskey, and I've actually taken their description of what they think each region is known for. So, visiting Campbellton first, where it has 3 working distilleries right now, of course, Springbank, Kilkerran, and Glen Scotia. All 3 of them make a peated whiskey. And here is the official notes of what a Campbellton should taste like. Wet wool, salt, smoke, fruit, vanilla, and toffee are embraced, abandoned, and cocktailed in the various malts of Campbellton. Cool. So we're looking for wet wool, salt, smoke, fruit, vanilla, toffee. Sure, I'm pretty sure you can find those in any region in Scotland, but let's see if they're in this Campbellton whiskey. And this, of course, is a smoky, peaty Campbellton whiskey, and we're visiting the Longrow peated Campbellton single malt Scotch whiskey. Had this one several times before, owned a couple of bottles myself, quite familiar with it, but this is a great excuse to open a new bottle, isn't it? Because who doesn't love an unboxing video? That's what YouTube's all about these days, right? Unboxing videos and slightly controversial comments. And I'm trying to hit both with this video, I guess, here today. This is a beautiful whiskey. A whiskey I'm very familiar with. Cool, there's some interesting trivia on the back. First distilled in 1973, Longrow is a double-distilled, heavily peated single malt produced at Springbank Distillery in Campbellton. The malt is peat-dried for up to 48 hours to give the whiskey a unique Campbellton smoky character. Less than 100 casks of Longrow are filled each year. That is insanely small amounts of Longrow. 100 casks? Like, we sell more whiskey than that at the Strath, I think. Like, what's 100 casks? That's going to be 30,000 bottles. Oh, maybe not. 30,000 bottles is a lot of bottles. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think I've ever counted how many bottles of whiskey we sell in a year. But even so, 100 casks is silly small. As this whiskey is not chill filtered, a natural haze may appear. Excellent. When it is cold, but this will disappear when the temperature returns to normal. Thanks for letting us know. Yeah, distilled, matured and bottled in Scotland. J&A Mitchell & Co. Limited, Campbellton, Scotland. So let's see if this is a Campbellton malt by the description of what a Campbellton malt should be. Let's see if I can open the bloody thing. I need a tool. I need an adult. I've learnt my lesson. I've got a bottle opener handy now. The foil is... There we go. Just couldn't quite get a hold of the foil. I've got stubby fingers, you see. There we go. I've got to say, as soon as I popped it, I tried to smell for the things, but the first thing I got wasn't wet wool, but it was slightly farmyardy. It was kind of like a damp bale of hay. Oh yeah, it is quite farmyardy on the nose today. Yeah. All right, so I'm getting that damp hay. I'm getting quite a lot of smoke. I'm getting pear. There's a nice fruity counterbalance to it. Yeah, it's definitely a. It doesn't have any of that medicinal iodine-y flavour that you will see in a lot of peated malts. And part of that, of course, of where the peat is from. I should mention, of course, Longrow being made at Springbank is made entirely from barley that is malted in-house, as far as I'm aware, still to this day. A very traditional way of making the whiskey. Springbank like to do pretty much everything they can in-house by hand, which is really cool, including bottling, including labeling the bottles, and as is tradition, the back label especially is somewhat wonky. Yeah, we have a wonky back label, as is tradition. Also, so I believe this bottle was bottled in 2014. This is an old bottle. It's been around for a while. That can't be right. They've changed the label since then. I think they might have had a malfunction on their date printer. Alright. Oh yeah, that's a little salty, a little briny, quite bitter. It's got some charred, slightly sort of burnt lemon peel kind of notes on the palate there. Yeah. This is a beautifully peated single malt, and it's not from Islay. It's a perfectly cromulent peat. I feel like I should do a follow-up video of this, of a bunch of unpeated Islay whiskies. But yeah, don't be a fool. Don't believe that if you like peat, you have to stick to one tiny island. There's a whole world of Scotland to enjoy, and this is a great start. Not very far away from Islay geographically, and yeah, I mean, it's a region that, though small, is definitely known for its peat. Every single distillery peats some barley. Uses peated barley in their whiskey, which is kind of cool. So another thing I'm doing here today with these whiskies, as you might have noticed, I've got 5 glasses at the ready here. We have 5 whiskies. And they're actually, of course, being featured on the video. They are at their discount. And I'm trying to aim for whiskies that are around the $100 mark. So some of them are a little over, some of them are a little under. And yeah, this is exactly there. So right now, for the few bottles that we have left at strathliquor.com, you can get this long row, normally $119.91, but Dram Association members, all of you, not just the subscribers, not just the premium members right now, can get this for $107.92 while stocks last. And that's especially important right now because I don't know what the hell is happening with Springbank. You can't even buy Springbank in England right now, never mind BC. I haven't been able to order any in about a year and a half, and yeah, we don't have anything else from Springbank in the store right now. This is the last bastion of Springbank freedom. So if you're itching for a bit of Springbank, then pick yourself up a bottle of Longrow. It's on special right now, 10% off for all members. Pretty cool. So an interesting thing, these are all about $100. They're all Scotch. I'm not throwing an Amroot or anything in there. They're all from different areas of Scotland, and they're all peated. And they're also all the same ABV, apart from one which has, so they're all. This is 46 ABV, which is a great, it's great for $100. I mean, you can't expect cask strength official bottlings necessarily at that price point. 46 is a fantastic, slightly higher than normal, actually decently higher than normal ABV. It's a good 15% higher. It's perfect. So yeah, 46 ABV. There is one of these that is 46 point something, and we'll get to that one a little later. But yeah, Longrow, a fantastic whiskey number 1. Let's see what's up with our second whiskey today. Alrighty, I don't know how to arrange these. I guess I'll start doing that. We'll have a nice row in front of me, shall we? Let's do it that way. I'll start hiding behind the bottles slightly. Alright, cool. Whiskey number 2 today. So, of course, not every region is going to have every distillery making peated whiskey. It's just not going to happen. However, that being said, we've already had one with Campbellton. We're very, very close to having a third region where every single distillery makes peated single malts. The next one, I mean, outside of some of the crazy new ones that are coming up, although I know the guys in the far north are making some peated malt, but I'm not sure about the guys on Lewis. But I think every single island distillery, apart from Scapa, makes peated single malt. And even Scapa makes a peated whiskey because they have the, I think it's the Glancer, which is done in ex-Lafroig casks. So, yeah, if you count that, every single distillery puts out... Actually, yeah, let's count that. The islands also, every single distillery puts out a peated, in some variety, single malt whiskey, which is also very cool. So why stick to only one of the islands when you can pick from any of them that make whiskey? Don't go to some obscure, tiny island in the middle of nowhere and expect them to have some peated malt. They probably don't even have a post office. But this island does. This island probably has several post offices. It's quite large in comparison to many of the others. We're going Orkney, and no, we're not going Scapa. We're going Highland Park. And if you're a premium member, you might have noticed this pop up as a premium exclusive for a little while. I did a bit of a shadow drop. I am so amazed that this whiskey is back, but I'm going to tease you a little more, of course, by giving you what an island whiskey should taste like, according to the folks at Flavier, I still don't know how to pronounce it. Okay. The versatility of the islands accommodates both feathery citrus flavours and smoking peaty notes. Between them, they champion brine, oil, black pepper, heather and honey. For challenging volcanic drams full of maritime notes that are anything but tame, Island malts are your calling. Also, guys, you've got a typo. You put or instead of. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be volcanic drams of maritime notes, or rather than volcanic drams full or maritime notes. Makes no sense. So, typo aside, this one probably will fit under that because that was a very broad definition. I should say that I think the long row, yes, does actually fit under that definition of a Campbellton. So congrats, congrats to the guys at Flavia for nailing that one. I just cannot believe I have another one of these. I almost shed a tear when I finished my last bottle, knowing that I would most likely never be able to get it again. God bless the BC liquor distribution branch for somehow losing 4 cases of this whiskey for over a year, finding it in their inventory and letting us buy it from them. Highland Park Dark Origins has somehow found its way back, which is ridiculous. This was discontinued like 3 or 4 years ago. BC was one of the last places on the planet where you could get this whiskey because we're always the last to get a whiskey, so we're often the last where it sells out too. We stocked up hard on this when we found out it wasn't coming back. And then they stocked up a little bit more in the warehouse, and we were like, okay, cool, this has got to be the last of it now. We got like 10 cases. We were probably one of the last places in BC to still have it. And now I'm proud to say we have it again. Limited quantities, only 4 cases. It's available right now. I'm making it, as of this video airing, I'm making it no longer a premium exclusive. Anyone can get it, and it'll be available at 10% off. But before we get into that and the price and everything, let's just bask in the beauty of this whiskey for a moment, shall we? Highland Park, established 1798. The Dark Origins, the Origine Obscure, I guess in French. I can't speak French. I probably just butchered that pronunciation. Double first fill sherry casks for a naturally darker, richer flavour. So what they've done with this special edition, which is 46.8% ABV, is they've just upped what makes Highland Park Highland Park. From memory, it feels a little bit peatier than normal for Highland Park as well. I know Highland Park is known to be a little more gentle. In truth, they malt their own barley in house, just like Springbank does, but they have a much bigger production. They don't malt enough, so they actually use a certain percentage of their own malted barley, I think like 20% maybe, and then a bunch of malted barley from the mainland, which is unpeated. So it's a blend of peated and unpeated. And of course, their own peated barley is using local peat, which is almost entirely decomposed heather. There's very little vegetation in the area, so it does come across as a little heathery as well. Such a cool whiskey. Establishing a secret bunker in the hills of Highland Park in Orkney, Magnus Mansi Jonsson became a dark distiller. It sounds like the origin of a superhero. Creating whiskey for the people of Orkney to offer relief from the villainy of the tax collectors. By day, he worked tirelessly in his church, providing spiritual guidance for the people of Orkney, but in the dead of night, handcrafted the best elixir in the world, warming hearts and uniting all who taste it. He was Captain Highland Park. Love this whiskey. Big fan. I've already bought myself another bottle. If you guys remember this fondly, you should probably already have one in your basket right now if you didn't know about it until right this second. And for those of you who want to find out more, well, let's dive in. I'm so excited I get to try this again. I haven't opened my bottle yet. I've been saving my reaction for camera because I knew I was going to be recording this, and maybe I'm going to be slightly disappointed. Maybe I've built it up in my head. Maybe it's not as good as it used to be. Maybe the fact that it's got twice as much first fill sherry cask influence as a regular Highland Park will just wash over me and I'll be caught in a wave of disappointment. Ooh. Let's see if I can get the lid off. Can't. Let's take the foil off. Oh, yes. One thing I do like about the new Highland Park bottles, though, you might notice this is the old style of Highland Park bottle as well, is they've got this hybrid twist top cork thing where you've got to give it like a quarter turn and then pull. I like it. It throws me off every time, but I like it. It feels more secure. This standard cork, great pop. Alrighty. Oh, nice, dark, beautiful orange colour. Oh. Oh, that smell. It's less peaty on the nose than I remember. This might not be a fantastic alternative to Islay necessarily. Well, actually, great alternative to maybe a Bunnahabhain if you're into that style of Islay. Yeah, very, very, very lightly peated on the nose, actually. In any normal lineup where I'm not going off some kind of narrative and story like I am with this one, I probably would have started with this whiskey, simply because it's not as peaty as the first one. Oh my god. When delicate light peat with earthy, rich, heathery notes mingle with those first Phil Oloroso sherry cask notes, magic happens. And it's also, there's a lot of American oak influence in here. I'm 99% sure that the vast majority of those first Phil X Oloroso casks will have been American oak. It's what Edrington like to do now, the guys that own Highland Park. And it works really well. You get these big, rich, creamy, buttery notes from the oak itself, with the fruit and nut aspect that comes with the Oloroso sherry. This is in no way at all disappointing. And frankly, I'm not going to talk about it too much because you guys should just buy one and experience it for yourself if you have the opportunity, or crack one open if you still happen to have a bottle tucked away somewhere, which is what I wish I'd done last time. And actually, I should do that again. Before I forget, I should buy myself a second bottle so I can have some of this for a longer period. Because I don't mean to sound like one of those guys who's like, oh, whiskey was better in my day, but I've not had a Highland Park this good in a long time. I love some of the new Highland Parks. I really enjoyed the Twisted Tattoo, weird name, great whiskey. Really enjoyed the Full Volume. There's some really interesting Highland Parks coming. The cask strength was really good. But this is just another level, and it was incredible value. As I mentioned, the theme of this tasting was around $100 bottles as well. There's 3 themes. They're all 46-ish%. They're all peated non-Islers, and they're all about $100. And this is normally $102.52. Right now, it is 10% off for every single Dram Association member. While stocks last, it is $95.27 for, just a Sherry Bomb Highland Park Glory, Hallelujah whiskey. There is not a shred of disappointment in me right now. In fact, there's just this beautiful, slightly giddy, reminiscent joy. And that's actually a brief little window into my personal life. One of the reasons I really, really like this bottle is that this was, I believe, the first bottle that I bought for myself after I broke up with my ex-wife, and I was staying in Victoria. I just started working at the Strath. I didn't have any whiskey to my name. I didn't have really anything to my name. I was staying in a rented bedroom. I was staying on an air mattress whilst I waited for some furniture that I'd bought with the pretty much the only money I had waiting to arrive from IKEA. And I saved up for my wages from Strath Liquor Store, and I purchased myself a bottle of Highland Park Dark Origins, and I just enjoyed every single drop of it. So a lot of my enjoyment might come from personal reasons of my own memory of feeling it was a comfort, and it still is a comfort. It's a very comforting whiskey. But yeah. Anyway, we should move on to the next whiskey before I start talking about all kinds of other awkward personal things. All right. We are now moving on to the next most likely region that you're going to look for peat in. If you know me, you probably know that one of my favourite whiskies of all time in terms of distilleries in Scotland is Ardmore. And Ardmore is a Highland whiskey. The Highlands, one of those regions that I just can't pinpoint. They're absolutely all over the place. No clue. I never know really what to say. Sorry, I just had to take another sip of Highland Park because I just realised I didn't really actually say whether I thought it fit the bill of what they said. It's Yeah, kinda. It kind of fits the bill of what they said Island whiskey should taste like. I'm going to give them a pass on that, but, maybe a C, maybe a B. But Highlands, here we go. They say Highlands are mostly unpeated, but with popular peat... Sorry. That's not what they say at all. That's what I say. I'm reading my own notes as if someone else had written them, and it did something weird to my brain for a second there. It kind of rebooted me for a second. Highlands. Fruitcake and oak flirt with heather and smoke in Highland whiskies. Wild seas and impenetrable moorland dominate the landscape, creating a breeding ground for powerful peaty drams, while still leaving room for floral, silky elegance. Yeah, sure. That's very varied. Yeah, cool. So yeah, mostly unpeated, as I said. As I'm rewinding to what I was going to say from my own voice, mostly unpeated, but there are popular peated distilleries. Like I mentioned, Ardmore, Ben Nevis, Glenturret, Glenglassaugh, Anarch, all known for their peated single malt whiskies. I can't think of a single distillery that only makes peated single malt, though. Come to think of it. Because Ardmore makes Ardlaird as well. I mean, Ben Nevis is mostly known for their unpeated. Glenturret is mostly known for their unpeated, but now, of course, makes the Ruard Moor, which is the peated part of the Smoky Grouse. Glenglassaugh makes both. Anarch, of course, makes both. Yeah, I can't think of a distillery in the Highlands that only makes peated whiskey. Shoot me a message in the live chat. Oh, yeah, sorry. Hi, guys in the live chat. I forgot to mention you existing. If you're watching this at the premiere, then please join in the live chat. I guess this is premiering on April 1st, because that's the theme of the thing, and probably at 6:30. So if you're looking at your watch and it's around 7 o'clock and it's April the 1st, join in the live chat. Say hi. I'll be right there. You can ask me any question you like. If it's after that, drop me a question in the comments section on this video. I'd love to hear from you. And if you can think of a Highland whiskey that only makes peated whiskey, Highland distillery that only makes peated whiskey, I'd love to hear it, because I can't think of one offhand, so please let me know if you can think of one. So we're actually going to be looking at one of the newest of the Highland whiskies available here in BC. This is a distillery I've only tried twice now. I've tried their Langskip and Aurora editions, which was their cask strength and sherry cask varieties, respectively. And now we're going to try the Morven from Wolfburn. The Morven. Lightly peated, non-chill filtered, natural colour, 46%, around $100. We'll get into that in a second. This is a really cool distillery because they actually took the crown from Old Pulteney, or Pulteney Distillery, as being the furthest north on the mainland. Of course, Highland Park used to be the furthest north in general as well. Of course, that's no longer the case with the guys who are really, really far north in the, basically in the middle of the North Sea, somewhere drifting out towards Greenland. But yeah, Wolfburn, most northern on the mainland. Situated on Scotland's rugged north coast, Wolfburn Distillery was first established in 1821. Weird. Didn't I just say it was new? Yeah. Rapidly becoming the largest distillery in Caithness, named after its water source, burn being the Scots word for stream. Wolfburn is the most northerly whisky distillery on the Scottish mainland, and our master craftsmen fashion their whisky the same way. It is always made by hand using only the finest ingredients, and without haste. Smoky and evocative, this lightly peated whisky is made from malted barley infused with smoke during the drying process. The flavour imparted by the smoke is a reflection of Wolfburn's history. And the original 19th century distillery was largely fired by peat. Gentle distillation is followed by maturation in our purpose-built warehouse. The result is a beautifully smooth and rounded whisky. Initially smoky with hints of... that's official tasting notes. I don't want that to influence me. Let's see what else, what other information we've got here. I should mention, I've had these two before, and I've not had the next three, so this is going to be really cool for me, especially because I'm about to discover new whiskies, which is always great. Our piece of expression takes its name from the highest point in Caithness, a brooding peak largely surrounded by open moors and wetlands. All around Morven lie peat deposits dating back for over 10,000 years, from which peat was harvested to fuel the original Wolfburn distillery. The sea wolf. Wolfburn's motif depicts a creature found in both Scots and Norse mythology. According to ancient lore, the sea wolf liveth both on land and sea, so it's probably just a seal. Walking on water is not its only gift. The sea wolf also brings good luck to all those fortunate enough to see it. The lucky seal. Yeah. So yeah, Wolfburn, they may have... They're harkening back to an old distillery that used to be called Wolfburn. The distillery, as it stands now, has only been around for like 7 or 8 years. Really, really new. As such, all of their whiskey's quite young, and honestly, that's the only flaw I've found in it so far. The whiskey's a bit young. And if that's the only thing bad you can say about a new distillery, they're doing something right, because time's kind of the only thing they can't help at this point. If they're doing everything else right, it's happy days. They're going to be doing really, really well in the future, and frankly, they're already doing really well now. One style of whiskey that lends itself cool, nice bottle. One style of whiskey that lends itself particularly well to being on the younger side of maturation, though, of course, is peated. So let's see if they can capture that. Oh, that's the back of the box. Where? If they can capture that with this one. Cool. It's got a nice signature from Shane Fraser, distillery manager, non-chill filtered, natural colour. Nice smoked glass. I like that. I need to remember not to trim my thumbnails before I do a recording. It's always... I feel slightly embarrassed that I can never open these bloody things. Alrighty. Nice little pop there. Ooh. That was a glorious glug. The bottle shape really lends itself well to a good glug. Alrighty. So, 46% again. You know what? That smells like an Ardmore. Can't get official bottling Ardmores anymore in BC. They've disappeared. Maybe this will be my $100-ish Ardmore alternative for a while. Yeah. Doesn't taste like an Ardmore. I want to say herbal. I'm getting singed. Maybe thyme. Maybe sage. That kind of thing. A little lemon peel. It's almost Kalila-esque, to be honest. It's like a light Kalila. Vanilla, of course. It's hard to I don't think I've ever had a whiskey where I can't taste vanilla. It's kind of a given. I almost just always forget to say it. But yeah, there is more pronounced vanilla than you'd expect, I guess, on this one. Yeah, it's a very lighter, more floral style of peated whiskey. About only slightly peatier than the Highland Park Dark Origins, I've got to say. When they say lightly peated, they mean it. But just a very, very different whiskey. Herbal, grassy, apples, lemon peel. Did they mention any of that in what a Highland whiskey should taste like? Let's see. Fruitcake? No. Oak? If you call vanilla oak, sure. I wouldn't say it tastes woody. Heathery? Sure. Smoke? A little, yeah. Wild seas? Yeah. Tastes slightly salty, maybe, I guess. It is kind of coastal. This is about as peated as like a really old Kalila. In fact, it kind of reminds me a lot of an old Kalila. It's got a similar thing going on, but without the sort of maturity going into it. It's like a slightly more spirit-driven old Kalila. There's worse things to be said about a whiskey. Is it my favourite peated Highland? No. Is it my favourite Wolfburn? Frankly, no. I think I enjoyed the other two more. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm personally a massive fan of this one. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But one thing that is very, very right with it, has to be said, is the price point. The value for money is there. If you want something that is a lighter, more lemony, herbal, smoky thing, maybe you're trying to get someone into smoke who's not used to it. Maybe this is a great whiskey for that. It's not hitting me particularly well right now. Maybe it will after I've tried something else. Maybe having it after the Dark Origins was a horrible mistake. I'll try it again later, and maybe my impressions will improve. But this is a perfectly good whiskey, and if you want a perfectly good whiskey with those flavor notes, you can buy it right now. Regular price $107.74. Right now, it is 10% off for all Dram Association members at $96.97. Sub $100. Nothing wrong with that. Honestly, I think the only reason that I'm slightly disappointed by it is the fact that it just followed the Dark Origin, which is incredibly unfair to this Wolfburn. I will try it again after trying a couple of more whiskies just to see where it's at. I feel bad, but yeah, what can you do? Next up, we have a region unlikely to bring smoke to mind. Speyside. Which is, kind of it's the region that developed and became massively popular because it made an alternative to smoke. The reason Speyside is such a massive whiskey region in terms of output is it had a train line leading up to it, a train line that wasn't leading to Campbellton, certainly wasn't leading to any of the islands because, well, they hadn't really had the technology that they use for the Channel Tunnel, and let's face it, the population of the islands don't really make it a monetary worthwhile effort. So yeah, no trains to the islands, but yeah, there was certainly a train to Speyside, and that brought in fresh, clean fuel. They didn't have to use the dirty old peat anymore. They could use nice Coke, not cola, and certainly not cane Coke, the refined coal. And yeah, you could get a smokeless whiskey, and it was all the rage at the time. It was suddenly adopted by people that would normally drink cognacs and armagnacs, and yes, everyone was very excited by this smokeless scotch. That being said, Speyside is a huge region, and with about 50 distilleries, I think. So you gotta find some smoke in there somewhere, right? So let's see what Flavia has to say about Speyside. Home to over half of Scotland's distilleries. Is that true? That's cool, didn't know that. Speyside malts from these 50 or so distilleries are known for being frugal with peat and lavish with nutty fruit flavours. Apple, pear, honey, vanilla and spice all have a part to play in Speyside whiskies. See, apple, pear, honey, vanilla and spice, to me they almost more scream like Highland in my experience. There are a lot of things I find in like Glenmorangie, right? I don't know. Like I said, I don't really understand or believe in these, but let's see if this next whiskey fits into it. I'm interested to find out. So yeah, peats in Speyside. It exists. It actually exists to more of an amount than I realized looking into it a bit more. I've had peated whiskey. I've had peated whiskey from all of this list except one. You can get peated whiskey from Balvenie, of course. The 14-year-old peat week of peat, and we had the special airport exclusive one that we had forever at the Strath as well. The I can't remember what it was called, but the 14-year-old peated one, which was kind of cool. Glenfiddich, of course, Fire and Cane, peated Glenfiddich. Tom and Toole makes peated whiskey under the name Old Ballantrauen. Ben Romick, of course, almost all of their stuff's peated, but they also make a heavily peated version. Ben Riach, known for making peat. It was actually designed to make peated and unpeated so that the blending house that owned it at the time could make their blends even when they couldn't get anything from Islay. Yeah. Cragganmore, again, every single thing that Cragganmore puts out is lightly peated, to the best of my knowledge. They also make occasional special edition and special run full peated expressions. Glenmoray, and I've not had this one. Apparently Glenmoray made a peated whiskey. That sounds cool. I wish we could get official bottling Glenmorays here in BC. Never seen one. Look forward to trying it one day. And of course, as well as that, you've got a couple of distilleries doing the popular nowadays thing of maturing unpeated whiskey in casks that used to hold peated whiskey to give a peated result. So Glenlivet did that with their Nadora. I think we've got that one in stock right now. And also Glenrothes have done that with the peaty cask edition as well. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9. That means that Speyside has more distilleries putting out a peated single malt than there are distilleries on Islay. Yeah. why not Speyside? Why not peated Speyside? And there's another one to add to that list, one that I've never had before, never had a peated expression from before, a distillery that I actually really enjoy. A distillery called Speyside. Yes, the eponymous, is that the word, whiskey of the Speyside region? Yeah, there is a distillery in Speyside called Speyside. They released their single malts under the name Spey. We've had some really interesting whiskies from them in the past, and I can't wait to try the Spey Fumare. Spey Fumare. Sounds like I'm trying to speak an alien language. Spey Fumare. Yeah, single malt Scotch whiskey Fumare using peated barley, limited release, 46%, as all of these are. And again, around $100, which is kind of cool. We'll get into that in a second. Yeah, let's crack her open. Speyside Distillery is really cool. Most of their stuff goes into blends, the vast majority of it. And the one blend that it is like the key component for... Ooh, I'm blanking on the name. I think it's called Yakuza, maybe. But it's like the #1 selling Scotch whiskey in Mongolia. It's big with the Mongols. Good on them. Alrighty. Comes in this nice paper. Also, I love and hate this whiskey because this is one of only 2 whiskies in our entire store that our standard shipping boxes are too short for. So if you're watching this video and you're not in Victoria and you want this whiskey shipped to you, then you bastard, you're going to make us tape 2 boxes together to be able to actually send you this whiskey. Anyway, buy it if you want. I don't have to do it anymore. I'll get someone else to do it. Alrighty. It's Brett's job now. Nice paper. The paper, weirdly enough, has the word Spey printed on it in a pattern. That feels like... I mean, the paper itself feels vaguely unnecessary. Printing the word Spey on it feels entirely unnecessary. I think most people wouldn't have even noticed. But, cool. Why not? Sure. Let's add a couple more cents to the packaging cost. It's weirdly inexpensive anyway, especially with the bespoke bottle as well. Really cool, giant, tall bottle, again. Pain in the ass for packaging, with a ribbon and like indented section for the label, and it's got a signature imprinted in the glass. I don't know why. They really do go all out with these bottles. Good on them. It's kind of cool looking. Distilled at Speyside Distillery, limited release of 18,000 bottles, no colouring added, matured using peated barley. Hey, cool, there's a bottle number. This is bottle number 10,632. That's cool. Alright. Let's crack her open. Speyside Fumare. I have to say, I've yet to really be disappointed with the peated Speyside whiskies. I think they all do really well. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna, like, be the exception to the rule, you kind of have to make it good, right? Because all eyes are on you. People are paying attention. Ooh, a peated Speyside. Good pop. Nice hefty cork. Oh my god. I don't know if the camera can pick that up. They've got the guy's signature on the cork. They've got custom corks in here as well. Oh my god. And yeah, the top of the cork is imprinted with the Spey branding as well. Harvey's of Spey, Edinburgh. Good god, these guys are extra. In fact, the foil has their crest sort of imprinted on it. Every single piece of this has been... yeah, customized. Good on them. Alrighty. Weirdly awkward because it's stupidly tall. It's like pouring an Octomore, but even taller. Oh. Oh my. That's the peatiest nose I've had so far. That smells glorious. That smells... what does that smell like? That smells like an Islay. That smells like a distillery I'm familiar with. I can't... does that smell like a Lagavulin? I think that smells like a Lagavulin. It's got that bacony thing going on. It's like... it's like a bacon barley soup. A smoked bacon and barley soup. With lemon pepper. That's a glorious nose. Phew. I wish I'd tried this earlier. It's been in our store for about a year now. I haven't really paid it too much attention, and I feel really bad because that is a great, great smell. And I should have just trusted the guy who persuaded me to bring it in because yeah, he's never led me astray. It was Jay Wheelock who actually brought this whiskey in. Yeah. Oh, wow. That is really very good. That is very good. That is... Huh. I feel going back to the Wolfburn now is going to be even more unfair to the Wolfburn, because this is surprisingly good, as opposed to, I know this is good. It's also a lot peatier, but I will go back to the Wolfburn, as promised, see if the Wolfburn has picked up a bit. Oh, I've got a little more character now, actually. It's a little more lemony. Yeah, it's got a sweet lemony floral thing going on. Yeah, I think that was better than I was previously giving it credit for, but again, not that peaty. Which is kind of the point of this tasting, so yeah. If you want something peaty, don't necessarily go for this one. Go for this one. This is peaty. Holy crap, this is really peaty and really good. The second most peaty so far is definitely the long row. If this is the peatiest, but I'm going to do a side-by-side, see if I think that this is peatier than the long row. Different, very different. Long row's a little deeper and darker. This is weirdly coastal flavoured. If I was tasting this blind, I'd definitely go Kalila Lagavulin. Huh. Well then. Does this fit the what a Speyside should taste like bill? Absolutely not. No. Nope. Nope. No. Is this a great whiskey? Yes. Do I slightly regret saying that because I'm just remembering now that we only have, I think, maybe 2 bottles to sell? Yes, because I'm making something popular that I don't know if I can get more of, which is always a dangerous game in promotion and selling things. But hey, I'm not going to lie, this is a bloody good whiskey. Get it while you can, and maybe one day it'll come back. Who knows? And if you are interested in this bizarre, weird favourite of the Mongolians, peated Speyside, you can pick it up for normally $112.52. Right now, it's 10% off for all Dram Association members. And if you're not sure what the Dram Association is, it's a free-to-join club. Go to our website, strathliquor.com, and look for it in our clubs section, and you can find out all the information you need. Basically, you sign up, you get a discount. You get 5% off all whiskies or 10% off featured. This is featured. You get 10% off right now, $101.27. Bargain. Top stuff. All right, so there's one region left, and this is definitely the region I would say least known for peat. Just definitely, it's just the case. The Lowlands. Yeah. So, perching just above England, the Lowlands can play truant from peat or salinity. Soft and smooth malts are characteristic of the region, offering a gentle, elegant palate reminiscent of grass, honeysuckle, cream, ginger, toffee, toast, and cinnamon. Of course, until recently, the Lowlands, like, the only things that come to mind were Glenkinchie and Auchentoshan. And when I first started working at the Strath, it was literally the only Lowlands we could get, outside of the occasional, like, indie grain releases. Nowadays, we're very, very grateful to add Bladnoch to that. Bladnoch is back, and it is powerful, and hopefully we're going to actually have a Bladnoch tasting coming up soon. There's some cool Bladnochs around. But even Bladnoch, it's not peated. But there is a huge boom in small craft distilleries in the region. Of course, it's where the majority of the population is. It's where a lot of the money is in Scotland. So, of course, you're going to get things like Eden Mill popping up. You're going to get Holyrood, of course. Hi, Robin Kelly, if you're watching. Another plug for Holyrood. You're welcome. Holyrood, can't wait to go visit in the heart of Edinburgh. Lindorus, based in the Lindorus Abbey, where whiskey is the oldest record of whiskey existing in Scotland is from Lindorus Abbey. Yeah, really cool. There's so many little craft distilleries popping up now in the Lowlands. Ailsa Bay is known for its peat. It's not craft, it's not that small. It's actually owned by one of the grain distilleries. It's actually part of the grain distillery. They've got this little tiny single malt distillery in the factory. I think it's in Girvan. Yeah, fairly sure it's Girvan. But yeah, they make peated single malt. I actually got one brought over. My parents brought one over a few years ago. Loved it. Really beautiful bottles. But there's a new distillery available here in BC, which does indeed also make a peated malt from the Lowlands. Yeah, a distillery which is being repped now by TS Global, who our last video had Brian E. Ty from TS Global. Hopefully you all enjoyed his interview and talk about Japanese whiskies, but this is another one in their portfolio. We're going to Glasgow. We've got a Ouija whiskey. 1770 Glaswegian single malt Scotch whiskey, peated release number 1, matured in first fill ex sherry butts and finished in virgin oak. So we've got a little peat and sherry to finish off the show. Great combination. Let's see if this lives up to the hype. Now, one thing that has to be said: this box is almost exactly the same dimensions as an Auchentoshan box. I feel like that's not by accident, because they know it's going to be put on the shelf next to an Auchentoshan. However, they're being a little tricksy about it, because whereas an Auchentoshan, of course, is a full-size standard bottle, this, despite being in a large box, the box actually has an insert to stop the bottle from moving around. It's only a 500ml bottle, so it's 2/3 the size of a regular bottle. Cheeky. I see through your methods here, but honestly, I'm a fan of the 500ml bottle. I think it's a great way of making the price more approachable. Think about it. Like, this is a small new craft distillery. They don't have the volume to be able to price match or compare with any of the other whiskies we've got here today. Yeah, it's going to be more expensive, and being able to keep the price at around the $100 mark is perfect, and they can do so by just having a smaller bottle. 375 is too small. 500ml for me is a nice point. I look forward to bringing more 500ml bottles into the store, because we are going to be doing that. Actually, I've just a couple of days ago signed off on quite a sizable order from a independent bottler that specialises in 500ml bottles. Speculate ahead in the live chat. I look forward to seeing if you can guess it. But 1770, let's read the box. 1770 Glasgow single malt Scotch whisky, peated release number 1, is a bold, smoky addition to the 1770 range. The finest malted barley smoked to 50 ppm. So, for those keeping track of ppm scores, 50 ppm is exactly halfway between Lagavulin and Ardbeg. With aromatic heather, rich peat of the Scottish Highlands, combined with the exceptionally pure water of Loch Katrine, and distilled in our copper pot stills. Oh, they've named the stills Tara and Myri. Matured in first fill ex sherry butts and finished in virgin oak, and non-chill filtered. 1770 peated release number 1 is a sublime and sophisticated smoky single malt. And then it's got a list of things that you might be able to taste in there. I look forward to tasting this one myself, and yeah, 46%. Really, really nice presentation. I like it's got like a ripple. Well, ripple's the wrong word. Ribbing. The bottle is ribbed for my pleasure, which is nice. It means that it doesn't feel slippy in my hand. It's got a nice grip to it. It's got Glasgow printed into the glass at the bottom, distillery on the back. Yeah, nice presentation. Lovely job, guys. Lovely job. I'm passing it like you'll get good mileage out of this one. Yeah, it's like a used car. Hopefully it doesn't taste like used cars. Actually, I don't know. Maybe that's going to be a whiskey asterisk thing. Tastes like a used car. I've had like old leather seats actually in whiskey notes from a car. That could make sense. All right, nice, awesome looking lid there. It looks like metal. It's plastic, but it looks cool. Nice custom cork with a beautiful pop. Oh, maybe it is metal. It's really heavy. I can't tell what material this is. It's either plastic or metal, one of the two. Either way, I really like it. It's got a nice shine to it, nice amount of weight. Yeah, good. Alrighty. So they mentioned Highland peat. That's where they're sourcing the peated malt from, is the Highlands. So maybe not as much coastal character in this one. The nose is playing a little hard to get. I'm gonna see if I can warm it up a bit. I always feel like I look like I'm dabbing. I'm smelling my inner elbow to reset my senses. It's a real thing. I'm not hip. I'm not cool. I'm not dabbing. Oh, that is a mellow, bellowing, rolling smoke there. That's... Oh, it smells like smoke rolling in off the hills when there's like a forest fire in the far distance. It's nice and granity as well. It's a nice a nice mineralic nose. Nutty. I'm getting like a fruit and nut, Cadbury's fruit and nut kind of thing going on the nose. A little creamy. Ooh. 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 That. Ooh, flashes of all kinds of things. That was like taking an apricot and dousing it in brandy and then setting fire to it and then like bowling it like a cricket game into a wooden bat and then smelling that wooden bat of like ripe apricot juices that have been scorched and on fire with some singed oak. It's an oak bat apparently. I don't think cricket bats are made with oak normally, but this one was. Ooh. That's actually really quite good. Oh, I'm enjoying this again more than I thought I would. From the 3 new ones, I've got one that was slightly disappointing, potentially because it came after this, one that was way better than I thought it was, and one that I had high hopes for and it's living up to. Actually, it's surpassing the high hopes I had, to be honest. I was hoping it was good just because I like the idea of a peated lowland. I think it's funny and it's a fun story to tell, and it's a nice selling point for it. But this is actually good as well. It's really good. If you're trying this at home, if you've got a bottle of this, if you've got a sample of this, let us know what you think of this whiskey. I'm impressed. Colour me impressed. Whatever the colour of impressed is, use it on me. Yeah. I'm hiding behind the bottles here. I've got a monitor here so I can see myself, and every so often I'm like, oh, yep, you can only see part of me right now. So yeah, sorry if you feel like I've been playing peekaboo half the episode, but this is it. I should get a little booster chair. Yeah, I'll get one of those booster chairs so I can be up here somewhere next time. That's yeah. It's April Fool's. I'm allowed to make a fool of myself. Apparently, I'm too short for film. Or it could be the fact that I'm using a dining table height table with a couch. Not the best idea. Peated lowland whiskey from Glasgow, though, that might be the best idea. Well, not the best idea, but a very bloody good one. All right, well, bear in mind that this is, of course, the 500ml bottle. I'm not going to try and trick you. So add an extra 50% on if you want the real sort of value price of this comparatively. But still, to be able to try a new whiskey from a new distillery, an up-and-coming, smaller, craftier distillery from the lowlands, you can grab this 500ml bottle right now. Normally 104.26, currently 93.83, which, yeah, I think that's great. I think you should. We've got a decent amount of this one actually as well, so that's Unlike the Spey, where I might have just accidentally started a fight between a couple of people who were fighting over the last couple of bottles, this one we've got a decent amount to come around, and I know for sure we will be getting more. I've been assured of this by the guys at TS Global. More of this will be on its way. So thank you for joining me on this April Fool's Day for a little episode where I'm talking about something that has made a fool out of many a whiskey lover. Islay is not the only place to go for peat. It doesn't even scratch the surface, as we've discovered here today. So these 5 whiskies, whatever's left in stock, is available for 10% off for all Dram Association members. Sign up now at dramassociation.com and pick up your bottles at strathliquor.com. You can find them on the Dram Association page. They'll all be right there. Or you can just use the little search bar, or, browse all whiskies, or whatever is your favourite way to find the whiskies. You can find them right now at strathliquor.com. where we are shipping BC-wide and also doing local deliveries still. Something that we started, of course, last year during the beginning of the COVID outbreak. Here's a newsflash, guys. We're still in the middle of a COVID pandemic, so we are still, of course, doing our local delivery service 5 days a week to everywhere in the local downtown areas of Victoria, about as far as Sanish and Esquimalt, that kind of region. And if you live to the north or to the west, we will still deliver to you, but only once a week. Pick up your bottles right now. And, of course, you can just buy online and pick up in store or curbside delivery. I forgot how much talking it is when I don't have a guest host. Hopefully the next episode you will see will be the SNWS outturn for April. It's a very, very strong chance at this point that it's going to get delayed. We might be a little later than everywhere else in Canada. But it will happen. We will have SNWS whiskies, and as is tradition, we will be doing the outturn right here on Drinking Out Loud. And stay tuned for the rest of the month where we will be having even more charity tastings for the Victoria Whisky Festival 2021. Till then, stay safe, stay sane, and stay lubricated with fine single malt Scotch whisky. I will see you guys on the next one. Sláinte mhath.
Find your way home.